gentlemen, mathematician and curious mind. Welcome to House of Philip Mathematics Talk. Today, we'll be exploring one of the fundamental concepts in calculus, which is the indefinite integral. So now, let's explore this new knowledge. So here is the first basic integration rule, which is the antiderivative of 0 with respect to x is equal to c, which is the constant of integration. If you're asking why the antiderivative of 0 with respect to x is equal to c, it's because the derivative of any constant number is equal to 0. That is the explanation for the first basic integration rule.
Hi, Jeremy here, and right now let's talk about the number rule in basic integration rules. Now, the antiderivative of kd with respect to x is kx plus c, where c is the constant of integration. So the value of c can be any real numbers, and therefore there are infinitely many possible values for the antiderivative, depending on the value of c. Now, I will give you an example. Let's say that our k is equals to 2, and our c is equals to 0. What will be our antiderivative? It's 2x. But what if our k is equals to negative 1, but our c is equals to 10? Our antiderivative will be negative x plus 10. Since we cannot give specific numerical numbers or values to the antiderivative without specifying both k and c. But if we know that the value of the antiderivative at a specific point, then we can determine the value of the constant of the integration of our c. Our problem is to find the antiderivative of the function f of x equals to 7. Now, using the basic integration rule, the antiderivative of a constant k is kx plus c. Therefore, the antiderivative of f of x equals to 7 is f of x equals to 7x plus c, where c is the constant integration.
Hello everyone, I am Marian Salazar, and today I am going to show you how to use the rule number 3 of basic integration rules by showing you an example.
This is the formula in rule number 3. The integral of k times f of x with respect to x is equal to k times the integral of x with respect to x. So our given is the antiderivative of 5x cubed with respect to x. The first step that you're going to do is to factor out the constant, or the 5. Then apply the power rule. 5 times x cubed plus 1 over 3 plus 1 plus c. Then it will be 5 times x raised to 4 over 4 plus c. Then multiply, and our final answer is 5x raised to 4 over 4 plus c.
Hi everyone, my name is Alexandra Hamander, and today I'm gonna give example for rule number 4 of antiderivatives. The sum and difference rule. Now let's talk about the sum and difference rule in integration. This rule applies when the given terms involve addition or subtraction. According to this rule, if we have two functions, f of x and g of x, the integral of their sum or difference is equal to the separate integrals of each function followed by the given operation. The integral of f of x plus or minus g of x with respect to x is equal to integral of f of x with respect to x plus or minus integral of g of x with respect to x. So example, find the integral of x plus 4 with respect to x. Looking at this function, we see that there are two terms involved. The first term is x, the second term is 4. The operation between them is addition. Since we are dealing with addition, we apply the sum and rule, which tells us to separate the given integral. Integral of x with respect to x plus the integral of 4 with respect to x. Since x is raised to the power of 1, we use the power rule in integration. According to the power rule, the integral of x raised to a power is found by adding 1 to the exponent and then adding by the new exponent. Applying this to x raised to 1, we add 1 to the exponent, making it 2, and then divide by 2. So the integral of x with respect to x is x squared over 2. Since every integral has an arbitrary constant, we include a constant and label it as c1. So according to the constant rule in integration, the integral of a constant is found by multiplying the constant by x. Applying this rule to 4, we apply 4 by x, which gives us 4x. Since every integral has an arbitrary constant, we include a constant and label it as c2. Combine the terms and simplify. Now we put everything together. We take the result of the first integral, which is x squared over 2, plus c1, and add it to the result of the second integral, which is 4x plus c2. Since c1 and c2 are both arbitrary constant, we combine them into a single constant and just call it c. This gives us the final answer, x squared over 2 plus 4x plus c.
So now we're going to use the power rule. And we have the problem of the antiderivative of x raised to 5 with respect to x is equals to, we'll use this formula to solve this problem, which is x raised to n plus 1 over n plus 1 plus c. Now we will just substitute the values to this formula. which is x raised to 5 plus 1 over 5 plus 1 plus c. And we'll just add them, and we will get x raised to 6 over 6 plus c. And that's how basic the power rule is. For the final rule in the basic integration rule, we have constant multiple. And the problem is the antiderivative of x squared plus 2x minus 3 with respect to x is equals to, the first step we're gonna do is we're gonna separate them. The antiderivative of x squared with respect to x plus the antiderivative of 2x with respect to x minus antiderivative of 3 with respect to x. And now, we're going to solve them one by one. X squared plus 1 over 2 plus 1 plus c sub 1. We should not forget about the c. Plus 2 antiderivative of x raised to 1 plus 1 over 1 plus 1 plus c sub 2 minus 3x plus c sub 3. Next is we're going to just add them all. X cubed over 3 plus c sub 1 plus 2x squared over 2. Since they are both the same, we can just cancel them out. Plus 2c sub 2 minus 3x plus c sub 3. And the final answer will be x cubed over 3 plus x squared minus 3x plus c. And that's how basic this rule is. Thank you.
Now you've reached the last part of our video, and that is solving the antiderivative using U substitution. So U substitution is like the chain rule. So first, let's give our given. And our given would be the antiderivative of open parenthesis 2x cubed plus 1 close parenthesis raised to 3 with respect to x. Then second, you need to identify what is your inner and outer, which means you need to identify where is the u. And our u would be 2x cubed plus 1. Then get the derivative of it. So our derivative would be 6x squared dx. You should not forget putting the dx. Then third, you need to rewrite the equation into u so that we can solve it using the u substitution. So our equation now would be the antiderivative of u raised to 3 with respect to u. After doing that, you can solve it now using the power rule or our fifth rule. So it will be look like this. The antiderivative of u cubed with respect to u is equals to u raised to 3 plus 1 over 3 plus 1. That way, u raised to 4 over 4 plus c. Is that the end of it? No. You should now plug in our u. So that will be our final answer. And our final answer would be open parenthesis 2x cubed plus 1 close parenthesis raised to 4 over 4 plus c. And that's it.
And you have conquered the basic integration rules. Remember that it's not just a rule. I hope you learned. Thank you and kamsahamnida.